So this is going to be an introduction to weight shifting laterally, left and right, in the frontal plane. And so this is going to be like an introduction to happy hips and hamstrings that I've taken from Steve Merland. And so what you're going to do, ideally our step length is going to be as long as our leg, but that might be too hard to start. So if that's too hard to start, just know that's something to reach for. You can have a wider and wider stance. But start and it might take a second to find your starting point. But what we're going to do to start is just practice shifting our weight side to side. But what I want you to see here is how I'm shifting and lining up my nose, knees, and toes. So to start, I just want you to practice what that feels like, to shift side to side, but then to aim to get the nose, knees, and toes to line up. A tendency here is whenever you shift this way, your knee might want to point out that way. Oh, also, our toes are pointing straight ahead, so our toes aren't pointing out to the side this way. So toes are pointing straight ahead. You want to try and bring that knee in and sit back on that heel, because that's going to bring that weight back into your hip. Okay, so again, in this position, it might be, you might come in to floating this heel here. I want you to really sit that hip back so where that weight is in the heel of that foot. Okay, but so to start, it's just shifting side to side, trying to get the nose, knees, and toes, nose, knees, and toes. Once we do that for a few repetitions, then we're going to start adding a reach in. And we're going to go right between the 2 feet, the midpoint. And so you can see I'm actually just kind of staying at the line of my toes. If that's pretty easy, then you can reach back a little bit further behind you to get a greater stretch there. But the tendency I see whenever people begin to add the arms in is that they forget about getting the depth from the hips and just sort of top over here. So I want you to really work on sitting over all of those things that we worked on to begin with, but then adding the reach. Okay? So sitting over, getting that depth from the hip, and then adding the reach. So that'll be our second one, reaching right between the feet. And then the third reach that we're going to do here is we're going to reach all the way across to the outside of that foot, or somewhere over towards that foot. If you can't make it to the outside, go ahead and come to the inside of the foot, like this. And what you're trying to do as much as possible is keep that chest up. It's definitely going to come down, but you can see how I'm trying to get that hip low and keep my eyes up as I reach across.